everybody. Today I'm doing a review on the new Flexihand. This has been designed by the maker of the Flexi Finger, as you can see here. One of the things that I love about the Flexihand is that you just use normal tips on these. On some of the other training hands you have to buy the specific tips, which can get quite expensive. With the Flexihand you can just buy the normal cheap ones from China if you want. They don't have to be anything fancy, and that's all that you use on these. Just going to demonstrate here. So as you can see, it's just a normal tip. These look like they're half-well tips. And you just simply place them in like that. Now this is how the hand came to me. There was a tip in each finger already. You can buy extra packages as well. I think they have 50 tips in them. Here I'm just showing you the original Flexihand. It's on the left here. These are a bit different in design, as you can see. Both of them still have the suction cups. Now this surface that it's on is just a glitter mat, so as you can see they're really sturdy sitting there on their own, and you know, you can sort of maneuver them as you need to. The reason that they changed the design was they found that this one here on the right is a bit more realistic as to how the fingers are laying. It's like you're working with a client. I must admit I have used this one a few times in training courses and for demonstration purposes, and I found it was a bit sort of difficult to sort of try and get the fingers at a height that I felt comfortable working with. Yeah, it just was a little bit difficult. So they've obviously put some thought into that, and they've listened to feedback from different techs, and they've come up with this new design. Both are still available at the Flexi Finger website. I believe that this one is a little bit more expensive, but not very much. Another change to the design in the finger itself is that the bases are now square. If you have a look at this compared to the original Flexi Finger that is just round, they now have this square section on them. Part of the reason for that is if you're using it for nail art, etc., and you're putting it into a lamp, the ones with the round base can sometimes roll to one side like it has here. But when it has the flat base, it sits perfectly flat and enables you to get an even cure all over. One thing that really used to annoy me was this rolling in the lamp, and I would have to sort of maneuver it so it was sort of sitting on the edge and touching something so it wouldn't move, or I'd have to stick it onto a pop stick or something to just try and keep it flat. I mean, it's sitting quite nicely here, but yeah, I have found in the past that it does tend to roll a little bit to one side, and that sometimes it would roll all the way over. It was just really annoying. So I really like the idea of the flat base. Another good feature about the flat base is you can actually stand the nails upright like so. Sorry, the fingers, not the nails. So yeah, they can sit up flat like that for demonstration purposes. They easily go back onto the metal rods, which also have a bit of flex. I find they're great because it really does feel like you're working on a client. Now obviously by maneuvering this, I'm lifting this suction cap because it's not stuck to this mat. But I'm just going to show you something. I actually have a glass top desk, so if I want, I can adhere that suction cup to my my glass top desk. However, if you have a laminate type surface on your desk, you'll find that it may not suction because the surface isn't completely necessarily smooth if it's one of those type of rougher beach wood grain type desktops. So don't despair if you did want to actually suction it down. What I did was I went to Bunnings and bought myself just a white tile, and you can suction quite easily to that. Now it does work better if it's wet. You might find it pops off relatively easy. So I'm just going to spray this and stick it down, and that is stuck tight. It's not giving at all. So once you have it stuck down, I must admit it feels like very realistic. It feels like I'm working on a client's fingers. It has flexibility. I'm not sure how far the rods go in. Okay, so if we're saying the rod's about there, I'm just going to push this one on. Obviously you get that bit of flexibility because the rod's sort of only sitting about here. I really like the design of this. I really feel it's improved over the original Flexihand. I do find them great to use when you're doing training courses. You'll see on my other fingers that there were French acrylic on them. I actually used this in a training course a year or so ago, and I still have the tips on from when I did the training. The other girls in the group had to use gloves like this that were filled with, I think it was sand or rice or something, and they just had the tips super glued on here, and it was okay. But we were actually doing a speed test on ourselves to try and improve our French application and how to improve our timing. So as we were doing our application, our trainer was like, right, now you should be doing this, and bang, now you should be onto this part. And we were sort of trying to race ourselves, if that makes sense. So I found by having the Flexihand, I was a bit more in control, because I was talking to a friend of mine that was there, and she said, oh gee, it was so hard to use these stupid glove things. So yeah, I found it really good to have the Flexihand at that training. So you can also, I'm not going to be able to get this off, so you can also unscrew the suction cap and use the base and have these as a display if you wanted to. If you wanted to do some nail art to show your clients, you could have this on display in your salon. And also you could, I mean, the stand looks nice and neat, looks lovely, keeps them all in one place, but you can also take the fingers off of the stand and stand them upright as well if you wanted to showcase any designs. This little card came with the hand, and on the back here is a business card as well as some extra tips in a little baggie, and on here there's an instruction sheet, and it just tells you can be used with any universal full nail tip. So sorry, they're actually full nail tips, not half. The nail tip slides under the cuticle area and is gently pushed back to secure in place. Make sure it travels up the stem of the flexi finger far enough to ensure a snug and secure fit. So what they mean by that is make sure that, like I showed before, as you can see, the tip has gone in a fair way. So, you know, it's probably sitting right back here. I'll just get right back here so that the tip is nice and secure into the finger. It goes on to say that once it's been designed and dried, it can be removed from the flexi finger by elevating the nail tip and pulling. So you basically push up and you pull out using your thumb underneath. I'm finding it a bit tricky because I'm wearing gloves. The silicone can stretch around the cuticle area, allowing the nail to be gently removed. A new tip can then be inserted. Now, one of the great things about this is you can actually practice your infills, which I think is wonderful. You can practice your drilling, your e-filing techniques, and also an infill. And I'm going to demonstrate that to you now. So I'm going to begin by actually doing a nail here. I'll use cover pink, so hopefully you can see the contrast a little bit better. And then I'll demonstrate how you can use that to practice your e-filing technique and also doing an infill, which I don't believe you could do on the nail trainers due to the way that they're designed. But with the Flexihand, it's really easy to be able to do that. So I will now demonstrate. Okay, so here I'm just demonstrating that you can file this just like you normally would any enhancement. It's going into the sidewalls, the free edge. Right up against that cuticle. The tip feels quite secure. I don't feel like I'm fighting against it to make it stay in place or anything like that. It's very realistic. It really is. It feels like you're working on a client. Well, the next best thing. Now, I'm just going to demonstrate using an e-file. So let's pretend that this client has come back and they now have this area that's grown out that needs refilling. Go in with your e-file. Very easy to use your e-file. you would then go in with all your prep products. Sorry, I just had a little bit of an area that needed refining there, so I'm just going in with my hand file. Like I said, go in with all of your prep products, that's what you would do on a normal client. Obviously this is for demonstration purposes, so we don't need to recreate that, and then you just simply go in like you would with a normal fill. I really like it for this. I just found it was really good to be able to practice my refills with. Back then I only had the flexi finger. I bought the flexi finger when I was studying my course back in 2013. A few of us girls in my TAFE course decided we'd buy one each and save on the postage. So I think there was 3 or 4 of us that did that, so then we could split the cost of the postage between us, and it worked out quite economical. I think it was under $20 each, and all of us did use it during our TAFE training. We found it came in real handy. Those stupid little plastic nail things that you can buy from China, I mean, they do the job, but they're just not realistic, and to me, the more realistic it can be, the easier your training can be. So yeah, we really liked using them, and I had a bit of contact with Sharon from the Flexi Finger, and from there she's kindly given me advice and information, and then sent me the hand to try out, and then also she's sent me this new one to try out, and I really must say I love it. I don't use it nearly enough, because most of my videos I tend to use a live model, but I think people on my YouTube channel prefer to see that. But if there's any designs anybody would like me to do, and I can't necessarily find a model that's willing to have that design done, I can always use the Flexi Hand to do it. So if there's anything you'd like to see me do a demonstration on, whether it be foils or stamping, glitter application, coloured acrylic application, anything like that, just leave a comment, and if I'm able to do it, I'll do it for you. But yeah, I hope you can see the benefits of using this fantastic invention by Sharon. It's fairly reasonably priced. I do believe it's cheaper than most of the nail trainers out there. And like I said, the ongoing cost is a lot more economical because you're only using these tips. Which I think, you know, you can buy from China something like 500 of them for $3 or $4. So it's very economical. Now, even though the Flexi Hand comes with the tips attached, all these are really doing is replicating a normal hand. They're just acting like a nail on a client. So you can still use sculpting forms with the Flexi Hand. However, I do find that the forms sometimes don't really want to stick to the latex. So to overcome that problem, what I suggest you do is get your finger, get a piece of gaffer tape, and quite close to the cuticle. It's going to be a little bit tricky. I'm going to try and get it really close up to that cuticle area, and then you just wrap that around. So you've still got a tiny bit of cuticle there, the gaffer tape's sitting nice up and close, and that will actually give the form something to adhere to. So you just simply pop your form on, like such. Oops, I haven't gone back far enough, sorry about that. again. You then stick your taps down, like so. So I hope you enjoyed my video. I'll leave information below about where you can purchase this from. I do believe there are various international stockists all over the world. I will leave a direct link in the description box below to where the stockists are. So if you're not in Australia, click on that link to see the international stockists. If for some reason your country doesn't have a stockist, please contact Sharon directly and she will be able to advise whether or not she can send one out to you. I hope that you found this video interesting, and you know, if you're contemplating buying a training hand, I definitely recommend this one. I feel it's very realistic, and the other benefit is the ongoing costs of the tips is quite reasonable. I love the new design of the square base. I feel that it's covered a lot of issues that I found with the round base that I didn't like, and I do find that the way that this one is attached to the base is also a lot, sorry about that, is also a lot better than the previous model. It does feel a lot more realistic, and the flex in the finger, it's just like a client. It's just amazing, and it sits at such a nice angle. It is very, very realistic. So yeah, I really love it. So I hope you enjoyed my video, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll hopefully be putting up some more videos soon. So until then, I hope you have a lovely day. Okay, bye.